Hi, this is Anthony. I'm just contemplating some very serious things right now. As everyone knows, the world seems like it's about to explode, in particular the Middle East. Um, anyway, there's in a country that isn't. Frankly, I'm tired of seeing young men's and women's blood spilled, and the only thing that I believe we can do about it is to fight the evil on the fronts where it presents itself. Um, The other thing that I would like everybody to consider, especially um, my fellow brother and sister martial artists and other people that would be interested, older folks, we've lived our lives. I'm willing to be the spearhead, and the masters will teach 10 people, and then they'll teach 50, and those 50 will teach 100. 6 months of training. We let the younger people go behind us when we're fighting a ground war. I'm perfectly okay with doing that and laying down my life for my country. And I'm not the only one. I know plenty of Muslims who would do the same thing. So I invite the Muslim community to join. This might be a pipe dream, I'm sure it is, but I do believe it would be an efficient and effective way to control dangerous communities that practice radical Islamic beliefs that I've read Quran and Hadiths. Jihad means the jihad of your soul. Okay, you're purifying your soul through the fires that Allah gives you. For Christianity, it's the same thing for us. We go through similar fires. If you're carrying the cross that He gave to you to carry, and I've noticed many people aren't carrying any cross. They're carrying on, but they're not carrying the cross. Just to make it real, the Coptic Church is one of the first churches that were founded by apostles, direct apostles of Jesus Christ. A lot of Westerners don't realize this, that there's a whole history of Christianity that you're not taught, and there's a reason for that, which I'll get to quickly. Because I want you to do your own research, do your own homework, and see that what I'm saying is true. After Christ resurrected, before He did, He tasked the 12 apostles to go out. There were 72 disciples, and then they went out two by two throughout the entire ancient world. Egypt was a very popular place because that was a source of commerce and cotton and papyrus paper for writing, among other things. Egypt was a place that was a safe haven. It was a pretty big place. It still is. The Coptic Church was founded, I believe, by Thomas and another apostle. I'm sorry, I don't remember them. But they were founded by two apostles. So we have the Coptic Church in Egypt and the Coptic Church in Ethiopia. These are legendary churches. They are practicing first century Christianity, and they have been since they've been there. With the rise of Islam in the Middle East, the elite and people with money fled to the West and took whatever they could with them, abandoning the poor people, not to suffer so much, because under caliphates, it depended on which one. You had to pay a Sharia tax, and you couldn't proselytize Christianity, but they tolerate your presence. Groups like ISIS are not tolerating anybody's presence, including other Muslims. If you don't know already, there are two branches of Islam. There's Sunni Islam. Sunni is the most popular form, and then the Shia. The contention has been when Muhammad the Prophet, peace be upon his name, that's showing respect for a religion. I might not be a Muslim, but I respect it enough to have done some homework. At any rate, I wish that everyone else would too. Because you'll see that they're not just killing Christians, they're not just crucifying Christians and setting them on fire, or having them eaten by dogs, or throwing babies to dogs and have them eaten. Beheadings, the terrors that you can't even imagine. Watching your whole family killed in front of you. This is being done to any Muslim that doesn't believe exactly the way they believe. They are fighting a false war. The Muslims that I know would be more than happy to give their life for this country. And they also realize that it's a dangerous turn for Islam because it has turned people against Islam, just like phony Christianity has turned people against Christianity, and they turn to other things. I've studied a lot of Buddhism and Hinduism as well. These are all very honorable religions. I practiced Zen for a long time. I've been a 47-year practitioner of martial arts. I'm willing to train people, and I am willing to go overseas with fellow older people that know how to handle themselves on the ground. I think that's what's called for. What President Trump did was the right thing. I'm sorry that all these people were killed. But here's the question. What's a just war? Is anybody familiar with that concept? A just war is a war where somebody wants to kill everything about your culture, and you have only one choice, and that is to fight back or be killed. Now, I know people always say, you're Christian, why don't you turn the other cheek? Some people turn the other cheek, and that's what's meant for that soul to do. If everyone were murdered and martyred, there would be no Christianity today, just like Islam or Buddhism. If anybody had been murdered at that point, there would have been none of those religions. And there are people that go back to pre-religion and they practice shamanism and Wicca and all these other things. If you're willing to pick up a gun and defend your country from evil, I say let's go for it. The other idea I have, and this is an easy one, it's a no-brainer. The United States now has more people in prison than any other country on earth. Most of them are in jail for stupid crimes, like marijuana possession. People that are stuck in jail for a lengthy period of time will do just about anything to get out. I think between the volunteers and giving convicts an amnesty so they can go and fight a just war for their country, and their reward is freedom. So think about how many people we would have. I hate spilling blood. I've never have, other than, we're sparring and I wouldn't block and I get a bloody lip or whatever. And same thing for my playmates who were playing with Kung Fu and Karate with me. But a warrior doesn't shed blood unless he has no choice. And I feel like they're leaving us no choice. We are not going to go gently into that good night. We are Americans, whatever religion. And I forgot to mention atheists are more than welcome. People that are flapping their mouths about what should be done should do what I suggest. And I'm happy to go once again. I think this is what's necessary and what's required. And this is to obtain peace. And we have Russia and Syria together with China. That's a dangerous combination. I'm familiar with those cultures. I just talked about a few of the different types of Eastern Christianities. Um, there's a Christianity in Kerala, India, that St. Thomas founded. The church is still there, and he was beheaded, martyred, but he had a lot of converts, and that church still practices exactly what Thomas taught them, right down to every ritual. So if you're Protestant, that's fine, you're welcome too, of course. Of course. And I don't want to fight over whose Christianity is better. And I don't want to hear any fighting over whose Islamic beliefs are better or whose Buddhism beliefs are better beliefs. All that matters is we all bleed red. And if you add up all the pints of blood that were lost, they would fill oceans. The amount of years lost, 20-year-old kid gets killed. But if you live to 85, he lost 60 years, 70, 80 years of life. I'll be 58. And I'm not in the best health, but I'm willing to do my part, whether it's overseas or here. And that might be another good idea. Work with Homeland Security as well. Maybe all of us aren't able to go overseas. In that case, we could be trained as DHS volunteers and we help them. At any rate, this is not a war of words anymore. Unfortunately, that ship passed. You cannot reason with a crazy person. You can reason with an ignorant person because somebody can always be taught. The problem is ignorance. Education can make that go away. Today's a very solemn day in Christianity. It's Good Friday. This is the day that our Lord and Master, Jesus Christ, was killed, murdered. Innocent man, murdered in the most brutal way by his own people. He took everything he had and he had nothing. He was born poor and died poor. And I've noticed a trend with this. I've noticed that anybody in any religion, including atheists, who have not given everything end up with nothing in the end. I'm perfectly happy to smash everything and give everything I own away. Are you? Well, that's what it's like when a bomb hits your house. Many of you haven't experienced these things. They're horrifying. I used to work in shock trauma. When I was younger, I was an assistant. I saw a lot of death and a lot of blood. And I saw a lot of people die. And I could tell you right now, there wasn't one person that I saw that didn't bleed anything other than red. And I'll tell you something else too. When people died, one of my job was to clean the corpse and bring it down for the medical examiner. As soon as somebody dies, that spark goes right out of their eyes, and immediately they start decaying. Anyway, I know this is an important message, and it's not a happy message because, frankly, it's not a happy world. And if you're living in your own happy world, maybe it's time to step out of your comfort zone. Stop complaining about everything and do something about what one can in one's world, which means your corner of the world and the bigger world that we live in. That's my message for today on Good Friday. I hope that no more innocents are killed this weekend. And I know my Muslim and Hindu and Buddhist and atheist and Wiccan brothers and sisters feel the same. I'm going to say goodbye. Love everybody. Be kind to one another. Take care.